The name's Bond, James Bond, a classic movie catchphrase. It's lasted 50 years and now 23 movies. This is the first Bond film in 4 years and the third with Daniel Craig. Was it worth the wait? Skyfall begins with a gripping action scene involving Bond and a new Bond girl named Eve, played by Naomi Harris, tracking down a bad guy. While the two are fighting, Eve has a chance to take a shot, but she could hit Bond instead. M, played for the 7th time by Judi Dench, tells Eve in her ear to go ahead and take the bloody shot. And she does, accidentally hitting Bond, who falls into a river and is presumed dead. And the bad guy gets away with a computer hard drive that contains all the names and identifications of all the agents the British Secret Service has in the field. And that information soon gets into the hands of a former agent named Silva, played by Javier Bardem, who is seeking revenge against M and the entire MI6 organization. So Bond, who obviously didn't die, decides to come out of retirement and try to help save his boss and the agency. James is showing his age, and there's a question as to whether or not he can still get it done as an agent.
Now, you mentioned that he's showing his age and whether he can still get it done. This franchise is showing its age. You mentioned 50 years. That's
right.
A long time, 4 years since the last one.
Right.
Is there enough left for them to work with for
Yeah,
viewers?
going by this film, there is definitely a lot left. This isn't your typical action film that a lot of people are used to seeing. There's a lot of dialogue, maybe 50-50 with the action scenes, which are very good when they come around. The James Bond character has always been about sophistication, and these films, including this one, are sophisticated action movies.
Now, fans of this franchise know that these films are known for a lot of things. Wacky villains,
Right.
dry humor, obviously the Bond girls. Are we going to get all of that this time?
Absolutely. The wacky villain, yes, Bardem Silva, is evil and creepy. There are some clever wisecracks, not a lot this time, and there's very little with the Bond girls. The main focus of Skyfall is Bond's relationship with M, as both of them try to deal with what may be the end of their careers.
Okay, so you talk about the stars in this movie. Daniel Craig, Javier Bardem, Judi Dench. How do these stars deliver?
Daniel Craig is perfect. He owns the role this time, striking the perfect balance between a trained killer and a guy who cares very much about his longtime boss. There's a scene near the end that might have previous James Bonds cringing, but he pulls it off really well. Dench has some standout scenes as the aging leader and mother figure who won't go down without a fight.
It's not unusual to see an R-rated movie for an action film like this. This time, though, we see it's been given the PG-13 rating. Who's
Right.
the appropriate audience for this?
It's appropriate for teens and up. There's some intense action violence, adult language, and content, but this is geared toward the older crowd, especially, of course, fans of the franchise, and I think they'll appreciate how this film moves the franchise along.
The most important question, you've seen it, you've watched it, what's the grade?
On the official LCJ report card, Skyfall gets a B+. It does drag a little here and there, and there's a weird opening credit sequence that could have easily been cut in half, but this is one of the better action films of the year.